Okay, C for Me. Another one of those movies I watched last night. And what's so weird, this movie came out in 2022, which is this year. I thought this movie came out last year. Anyway, it's almost got a 5-star rating. And I was like, I have been wanting to watch this movie for a while. And so I'll read the plot synopsis and we'll go from there. A blind woman caught in the crossfire of a home invasion. Scheme must rely on the sighted Army veteran VA and an app to survive the night in this shocking cat and mouse theater. And that's exactly what this is. This is excellent. It's so weird because normally I fall asleep like there ain't no tomorrow. You know, I like, once I'm done with everything for the whole day, man, I'll chill out. I call myself watching a movie. Next thing I know, I'm like, wake up and can't find the remote. But, so this blind girl, she gets a job. It's cat watching. Yeah, she has to cat babysit. And she has to go way out in the upstate New York, way out in sticks. And this woman must be loaded. So the woman notices that she's blind and everything like that. So she's got this app called C for Me. I think it's called C for Me. But anyway, at first she didn't want the app, and then she downloaded it. But then, she had to put a collar on the cat. She introduced herself to the woman. The woman's like, hey, you're a last-minute choice is why. Because she was a last-minute choice. Because the lady's like, I have to take this plane trip, get out of here. So the girl was blind, so she knew the girl was blind. So when she left, she told her to make sure you put the alarm on, blah, blah. So, yeah, at this point, I'm into it, right? So she's kind of rebellious. She's kind of mad because, she was this up-and-coming skier. And something happened to him which caused her to be blind. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if this actress was blind for real or she can't hardly see for real, but she played this being blind perfect. I was like, is she blind for real? Is this an actress that is really blind? Because, in The Quiet Place, they used a girl that actually was hearing impaired. And I thought that was great that they did that and used a girl like that for that. So if this girl is blind and she's an actress, she is pretty daggone good, man, because it's very convincing for me. But anyway, she gets locked out, so now she has to she accidentally walks out to smoke a cigarette. And then she had armed the whole house. So then she was outside in the cold trying to smoke a cigarette. And she realized she armed the house. So she's like, now she called her phone and told the phone, download C for Me. So she calls one person. This one person was kind of like a jackass, so she just hung up on her. And then she decided to call this other app. I don't know if it's called C for Me, but that's what this movie's called. So anyway, it's an app for blind people. So she gets this veteran woman who got discharged from the, Army or Navy or Air Force or something. And she was playing video games with her friends. And then she got the phone call, and then it's what she does part-time. So she's trying to walk this girl through. She goes, well, get your phone out. So can you imagine using your phone and you're blind and you got somebody on the phone trying to tell you where to step and everything? That's how this movie was. And it was so freaking good, man. Shot so well. Anyway, to speed up, she's kind of smart aleck with the girl, but the girl on the other end was kind of like sarcastic back to her. So it kind of like freaked the girl out a little bit. And then she was telling her, she goes, well, I've been through this before. She was telling her how to jiggle. She goes, that's a sliding door? She goes, yeah. Well, the sliding door was armed as well. But I guess you could take it and you can rock it a little bit and get it off track. It caused it to open up. So she was like, this is not working. This is not working. She goes, trust me. She got it to open up. And then when the girl walked in, the girl was relieved. And then that's when her and that girl got a little bond, the woman on this app, which was a veteran. So anyway, fast forward, they talk a little bit and then so apparently, the arm. So she shuts the door. So she goes to bed. And all of a sudden, you see a person come up. And he tells, hey, nobody's home. And then two other guys show up. And apparently this woman had a safe there. So she wakes up and she hears them. But at first she didn't think it was anybody. So she gets up and she notices that. So she calls 911, tells them that, she got some intruders. Well, then they find out that she's in there, so they capture her. But she has been stealing herself from all these places that she has been going in there doing babysitting cats, babysitting dogs. So she wasn't no saint herself. So when she found out that they told her that they grabbed her, and at first the woman on the app, well, she called 911. Then she called the woman on the app. The woman on the app was eating the pizza. She's like, she goes, well, open up your phone. It was real dark in there. So this whole movie is with this girl on this app trying to help her see where these guys are. You talking about the tension in this thing. You're talking about the way they shot it. They had to do a lot of work to shoot this thing the way that I was watching it last night. Well, anyway, she kept getting, that girl was helping her out. Well, then the cop come, and then the cop was so determined to snoop around that she was trying to get rid of the cop, because when those guys caught her, those guys was like, she told the guy, she goes, I'll tell you what. She even said, she goes, you give me a cut of that money. She goes, and I won't say anything. Well, when they noticed that she was blind, they was kind of like, oh, cool. But then things go wrong. They killed the cop, and then the girl called her back and told her that she called more cops. So now they was trying to figure out how to switch this whole thing up. So she was trying to work with them to get money, but then at the same time, when the girl figured out that she called the other cops, then that girl that was blind had to switch up everything. So then this is how this whole thing ended up. But the girl ends up with a gun. And the woman on the app is like helping her migrate through. The scenes in this movie and the way it was shot and the way she was going, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, to your right, your left, look up, now. She killed every one of those guys. But there was one more guy. Now here's the kicker. There was a guy that she talked to on the phone, right? So the whole time I watched this movie, I'm like, okay, so how did these guys know that there's a safe back there and it has all this money? And who in their right mind would put all that money in a safe? But I guess you do that these days. You can do that. So anyway, he ends up coming after she done killed all those guys. And she's wounded at this point because no, she's not wounded. So the guy that comes in, he walks in, because see, I couldn't figure out how they walked in the house. Come find out the guy that set this up was the woman's ex-husband. And then he was talking about, this is why I'm doing this, because my ex-wife got everything, took everything. She goes, and he said, all he wanted to do was go in there and just get that money out of there and then be on his merry way. But that blind girl was there and messed up everything. So she tried to talk that blind girl into siding with him, and he said, we'll tell the cops what happened, everything like that, and I'll give you a cut. But she didn't know if she wanted to believe him or not. So then you had that climax. And then, so anyway, you had the climax, what happened between him and her, but that's what the whole thing set up on. This was this woman's ex-husband. And he had 3 of his buddies in on it, and they was going to get all his money. And there was a ton of money in there. But anyway, she got shot in the leg, and then, she ended up killing that guy. And then, it flips to where she's getting out of the hospital and her mom's pushing her in a wheelchair. And she goes, Mom, can you hand me my book bag? And she says, yes. So she puts the book bag on her lap. And she goes, I'm gonna start going back to skiing, because you can ski blind, but you got to have a person with you skiing so they could tell you left, right, turn right. And so she decided to pick up skiing because she done went through all that. Her mom's like, well, I don't know what we're going to do about skis. And she goes, we'll figure something out. And then it shows her holding her book bag. And her eye, she's blind, and she just kind of makes this face. And then her mom's pushing her, and the movie goes black. In other words, she got some of that money. She ended up getting some of that money. Then it showed later on that she's on the ski slope with the guy that she was talking to earlier, which I didn't say. And then she had the girl on the other end, the veteran chick, on the other app, and she said, hey, I just want you to see what I'm going to do. And that's how the movie ended. But this was a great movie. This is fantastic. I'm glad I watched it last night. I really am. Put this one on your radar. God bless, take care, and we'll catch you in the next video. We'll see you.